when we talk about Rhea Ripley, I want to bring a question up to you, and that is a question I brought up on Twitter, and a lot of people agreed and said maybe that she shouldn't have relinquished the belt, but obviously coming off of Roman Reigns' historic title reign where he didn't necessarily wrestle all the time, and he was quite on the part-time schedule, and well, if Roman Reigns, after Roman Reigns defended the championship at WrestleMania 39, he didn't defend it again until SummerSlam, perfectly healthy. So if Rhea Ripley's going to be back in time for SummerSlam, she's been this historic champion for this entire period of time. She's a very popular competitor. What do you feel about the idea of saying, hey, we just did it with Roman last year. You're going to be out till SummerSlam. Okay, so you'll keep the belt and defend it at SummerSlam.
I don't like it. I think in the Roman Reigns case, I think it was a unique situation with the bloodline situation because the storyline kept going even if he wasn't there. Like the Usos were, the Usos are there.
The Judgment Day is still there.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's to me like it's the most popular. The bloodline was the most popular story of the last few years, and for me, like they can keep it going to a point where the Judgment Day cannot. Like the Judgment Day to me is. They're a good faction, but to me, they were always the other faction behind the bloodline. So for me, I think personally speaking, I think with Roman Reigns having the belt and showing up here and there, they still kept meaningful storylines going. I do think it would be harder because Rhea is the one female member of the group, so it's not like she can, they have other females in the faction where she could go fight battles for their tribal chief, or mommy in this case, which is, Rhea Ripley. It's a little different dynamics because of that. Where the bloodline, it was Roman Reigns, and then he had all his family members, which were all dudes, and these dudes would also defend him or attack people that he might be facing. For example, you're not going to have Finn Balor go attack Liv Morgan at this point. They're not doing stuff like GCW does. I guess that's my point.
I will say, though, there's some ways that they could have got around it. One, I might have hid the Rhea Ripley injury until maybe right before the next pay-per-view and built up Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, right? And then right before the pay-per-view, not at the pay-per-view because I'm not that kind of person, but right before the pay-per-view just stated that Rhea Ripley wasn't medically cleared to compete, and then so that match isn't happening, and kind of still, because again, she can still be on television. As we see with CM Punk right now, he's still on TV. He's not medically cleared to compete.
CM Punk's not a champion.
He's also not a champion, but I'm just saying there's ways you can drag this out. But I think the best thing that could have been done if Rhea Ripley kept the championship is, right, we have a SmackDown champion, perfectly healthy, right? We got to have a champion on Raw. What better time than now than to amplify the women's tag team champ with really good competitors who would essentially be going after Rhea Ripley's belt, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, put these guys into quest for tag team championship gold and really amplify that while Rhea Ripley's on the shelf. I understand if Rhea Ripley's going to be gone for a very long period of time, but I guess I'm just thinking because like the Roman Reigns of the world got this luxury that it seems only fair, that if somebody says they're out for 2 or 3 months, that, especially when they've been champion for as long as they have been, right, that you would give them kind of this opportunity, especially if they have some sort of value outside the ring.
I think we're not too far apart on that concept. I think for me personally, I think, having mommy, so to speak, she's out for an extended period of time. We'll obviously see what happens where SummerSlam is within that window, but it's going to be a tight window for her to make it back in time based on the injury timeline that's being reported. But during that time, I think having that vacant championship is going to give other women's competitors, singles competitors, a chance to battle it out. We're going to see some really good matches. I think we're going to see some really good competition. And then, someone who I essentially will call them a transitional champion because, in my opinion, whoever comes out of this whole situation with Rhea being out for this extended period of time and who's going to be the champion while she's gone, I think it's going to be a transitional champion. Rhea's going to come back and take that title back. It makes too much sense for me to have Liv Morgan carry that torch until she gets back, and they can still build up not only the women's division while Rhea's out, which, no offense to Rhea, because Rhea's done a hell of a job. I think we all agree with it. It's been kind of bogged down a little bit because it's been Rhea on the Raw side, And then SmackDown. I mean, you're not really seeing too much on SmackDown either. I mean, you're seeing Tiffany Stratton kind of getting stuff here, getting some little mini pushes here and there. But overall, I think the women's division has been just a couple big names, and then it's everybody else. I think having Rhea Ripley out for extended period of time, which still sucks because obviously she's one of the best things about wrestling these days. But as someone who is a glass half full type of person, this gives opportunities while Rhea gets healthy and gets everything fixed up and ready to rock and roll. To have these opportunities, and then she comes back and they build this great storyline with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, hopefully at SummerSlam. I'm not pushing that because it's a tight window for Rhea to be back for SummerSlam, but I think at the end of the day, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley that's obviously fate, but I think it would be even cooler to have it for the championship belt. I think that'd be more important to me.